So I think one of the coolest lifestyles you can have is to live in a tropical paradise where you have beautiful views, or you have your boat in the backyard where you can just jump on it and go to the beautiful sandbars and reefs and do some amazing fishing. And in this video, we're gonna be talking about Bay Point, which is also known as Saddle Bunches. I used to actually own that house right behind me, and I absolutely loved the lifestyle. It was amazing, and then our life changed and it wasn't perfect for us at the time, and I gotta tell you, I am absolutely missing it. In this video, we're gonna talk about the pros and cons of living in this area. We're gonna do a neighborhood tour, and then I actually brought my boat up from Key West. We're gonna put it in the boat ramp and sort of do a little outside tour of the neighborhood, and then show you some really cool spots nearby. And in case we've never met before, my name's Solaris Gregory. I'm also a licensed realtor here in Key West in the Florida Keys. I've helped over 100 people just like you buy, sell, invest, and relocate to these wonderful islands. So please like and subscribe, because this is a good way to educate yourself about Key West and the Florida Keys. Also, reach out anytime, day or night. I'll be happy to answer any questions. So this is one of those quieter, laid-back keys, very relaxing, tranquil environment. You have a bunch of single-family homes, very family-friendly. You're also only at mile marker 14, so you're 10 miles from Key West, so you can enjoy all the bars and restaurants there if you choose to go over there. And then if you want to just get away from it all, you come back up here. So this is such a cool key. If you want to be in the pool or do some kayaking, paddleboarding, get out there on the boat and do some amazing boating. So this style is all about the outdoors. You can be out there grilling, watching the sunset, and just really taking in Mother Nature. So in this area, you've got a lot of really good restaurants. You have Mango Mama's, you have Babalu's, you have Geiger Key Marina, and then you're also really close to all those restaurants that I love on Stock Island, like Hogfish, Tavern in Town, and also Ocean's Edge and Chico's Cantina. Also, right here on Bay Point, you have tennis courts, you have basketball courts, there's a deli, and then you also have one of the coolest coffee shops, which is Babies. Now, if you need schools for your kids, you'd have to go into town for Key West High School. Up in Sugarloaf, there's a great middle school, and then there's tons of middle schools in Key West and on Stock Island. This is a great area if you love privacy, but you also want to be close to the action to be able to enjoy all the craziness of Key West. So as I'm walking through this quiet neighborhood, the only thing I can hear is the rustling of the trees and the chirping of the birds. Such a beautiful, tranquil environment. Also, Baby's Coffee has this new food truck. I just had one of the best chicken sandwiches I've ever had in my life. And Bay Point Deli has changed from a deli where they make sandwiches into a food mart. Also, in the very front of Bay Point, you have a beautiful playground, and there's also some volleyball courts. A very small portion of Bay Point, it used to be a trailer park, which almost all of the trailers are gone, and now they are really nice houses. However, the lot sizes are really small, but the rest of Bay Point, you have these very large lots and big trees, and a lot of them, you can't even see the house because there's these big, beautiful trees blocking. You have a lot of privacy in this area. So in this area, you have pretty unforgiving waters, because where it's dredged out on the side of it, that's all rock. It could definitely hurt your boat that way, but as long as you go slow and you have your motor up, you should be okay and kind of stay along the edge. So what's really cool, when you look at Bay Point from a map, you can see all these islands around Bay Point. So if there's a big storm here, it makes you definitely a lot less vulnerable. You're not gonna have a bunch of big waves crashing over your property. So as you can see over my shoulder, there's some kayakers out there. It's such a beautiful day. Such a nice day to be out in the water. It makes me really grateful to be living down here. Bay Point is definitely a place where you're not only gonna be living, but you're gonna be thriving. You know, you get a good amount of sun, and it's just really nice to be out here in nature and just really enjoying everything that these beautiful waters have to offer. So my goal out here is to sort of let you see the neighborhood from a different perspective from the water, so you can get a better idea of, you know, some of these beautiful views. Right here in the beginning part, we're in the side where there used to be a bunch of trailers, and now there's some big, beautiful homes. There are a few trailers that are in here, and some of them are pretty expensive. So coming up behind me, that's the canal that I used to live on, and I used to plane off right from the end here. I'm not gonna do it on this boat because I don't exactly remember the tracks, and I had them marked. I put a little stick in the ground, and I think some of the storms took it out. And as you can see behind me, there's a beautiful house that has a nice little beach area. So now we are on the side where there's the larger lots. Definitely a different feel to the neighborhood. It's so beautiful over here. You have these really nice houses, and a lot of them have pools and their own docks, and some of them have boat lifts so you can keep your boat out of the water. And over here behind me, you can see some paddle boards and fishing rods. People are doing some fishing out here. You can definitely catch some nice little snapper out here. My mom, when we had Venice, she was renting an apartment below a house over here, and she would go fishing at night. She caught a nice sized grouper, and we cooked it up and had dinner. So actually right behind me, that's the house that my mom was renting the apartment below, so she would come and help out with the baby. We had a great time. Those are some great memories. I really loved the memories that I had out here because, you know, they're gonna be with you forever. One of the other things that I really love about the neighborhood here, it's not a development. Every house is completely different, and some of them have such beautiful backyards and palm trees, and I just love all the foliage that it really adds to the beauty of this area. So this little boat trip that we're taking, I'm gonna go ahead and putt around. There's another place that you can plane off where you have plenty of deep waters, and it's a little bit more of a muddy bottom than a rock bottom. So I haven't been out here in over 7 years, so I'm not too familiar with the waters, but I do have somewhat of a memory of them. So for this particular house behind me, you're gonna have beautiful sunset. The sunset's right over here, so you can come out onto your porch every night and watch the sunset and really enjoy the beautiful ocean smell. So some of the homes in this area, they have some really nice beaches, and they will be a little bit protected by some rocks at the bottom so it doesn't erode the sand. So it just got a little bit windier over on this side. The wind is usually blowing from the north, and what's really good about this area is you're very protected by all these different islands. So in the wintertime, even when it's blowing 15 miles an hour, you can use your boat and it's not gonna be too choppy. And you're definitely not gonna have a bunch of big waves. I'm definitely going to chart my track on this one because I gotta find my way back at the end of the day. So today the wind is blowing about 10 miles an hour. You can see it's a little wavy, but not too bad, because if you're out there in the Atlantic Ocean, you're gonna get some major waves out there. And when you're in this backcountry area, it's really fun to just be able to putt around and not really have to worry about how windy it is. Because in Key West, where I launch my boat, I have to wait until it's a good day. But luckily that I live down here, I get to pick and choose my days. So there's a guy in front of me, he's catching some lobster. He's just snorkeling and hitting the ledges for some lobster. And I'm gonna do the same here in a little bit. So now I'm gonna plane off, so I'm gonna put the camera away and we're gonna go on a little trip. How's it going?
Only one way to do it, hauling ass.
So as you can see, we got into the creek here and it's flat calm even though it's blowing 10 miles an hour. So beautiful back here. You just glide through glass. And then coming up, we're at one of the bridges. Such a beautiful ride back here. So when you come out underneath this bridge, you're gonna wanna take a sharp right and stay along the edge. That way you don't run into the rocks. But you'll be able to see it on any GPS. The GPS will guide you. So what we'll do is turn back around and we'll do a little bit of snapper fishing. Maybe we'll bring home some dinner to Marcella and Venice. Here we go, back under that bridge. A lot of people do some fishing over here on these rocks as well. You don't need a boat to get over there. So there's a really nice current running through this creek. And this is a little cut that I'm about to take where I used to catch a bunch of snapper. I used to come out here all the time just by myself and catch some snapper and come home and cook it for dinner. So back in this little creek area, there's some different grouper back here and definitely a bunch of snapper, just like over at Bay Point. There's a spot where the current isn't too strong. We'll throw an anchor in right here and try to catch some snapper. Here we go. So we caught a few snapper. They weren't big enough to eat, but any day is a good day out on the boat. The path that I took in the boat was the red path, and if I had taken the green path to the north, I would have come across Snipes Key and Marvin Key, and those sandbars look like the Bahamas. It's just absolutely gorgeous out there. So that was a little fun out in the water, and we're gonna go check a little lobster spot that I used to find some lobster at, see if there's any in there, and then we'll call it a day. Here we go, let's catch some lobster.
A few moments later.
So I did hit the lobster spot up. There was only little ones there, so obviously I couldn't keep them, but there was a bunch of large snapper. If I didn't have to get home, I definitely would have kept fishing. Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. I really appreciate it. And if you can, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and I answer all of them myself. And just keep living that island lifestyle.